Okay, guys, well, we're back at it again. Bit of an update on the e-bike bans. So, stick around. Well, hello again, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, last week we did a story about a Key Biscayne, Florida, that was banning e-bikes, and more importantly, about banning e-bikes in general. And I thought I would give you a bit of an update on that. So what I did this week was I looked through the original order that come from the Key Biscayne, and that was put out on February the 16th. And I'm going to read sections of it here. Today, the Village of Key Biscayne Council held a special meeting to enact a 60-day emergency order that bans all electric bicycles and motor scooters within the village jurisdiction. The ban is effective immediately. Officers will issue a $250 citation for the first offense and $500 for subsequent offenses. Now, the emergency order states, I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I have highlighted some areas here that all bicycles and motorized scooters are prohibited on village streets and sidewalks. The village will educate the public to ensure compliance with the ordinance. I'm curious how their education has went in other areas. I don't know, like maybe helmets for riding bicycles, but we'll continue on here a little further down. In order to restrict the use of these devices along Crandon Boulevard, which is a county road, the village is working diligently with Miami-Dade County on an ordinance that will give the village necessary authority to enact safety regulations. In other words, this particular road was not within their jurisdiction, so they could not do anything about that road, but they're working with the county of Miami and Dade. So their intent is to push this a little further than just their own jurisdiction. Now, let's take a look at some things that have happened on that road. This woman spoke at their city council meeting right here. So we're just going to listen to her for a moment.
There was an accident with an e-bike. I know the girl is a friend of my daughter, a sister of my daughter's friend. The girls had an accident on crossing the flashing lights with the e-bike. The car didn't stop at the flashing lights. You guys do anything about that incident? Cars, bicycles.
You know, she just spoke about an accident not too long ago that happened to an e-biker. There was no call for action. Matter of fact, she goes on to say the city leaders told her nothing. They could do nothing about it because it was part of Miami-Dade County that would have to come down there and fix these things. Curious, now they're wanting to push this so much. But let's continue on with the ordinance here. We're asking that our entire community come together in support of safety on our streets and sidewalks, said Police Chief Frank Sousa. By working together to teach our children, friends, and neighbors about road safety and urging compliance, we can take steps towards creating a more safe and secure environment for all. Well, what we just heard this woman speak of in their meeting, did that sound like trying to create a safe environment for all? I'm going to continue reading it though. Yes, for residents who use the devices for transportation, and this is part of the emergency order. Alternatives are already in place. The Miami-Dade County bus network, Route 26, includes a scheduled route from Brickwell and along Crandon Boulevard on a 30-minute loop with an increased frequency to every 15 minutes during peak hours. This route includes stops at Mast Academy. Additionally, the village recently increased the number of freebies to 8 vehicles on the road, with a 9th vehicle being added in the coming weeks. Oh, okay. So, you e-bikers, I only have one question for you, City Council of Key Biscayne, or Village of Key Biscayne. Do the e-bikers get to sit anywhere on the bus, or do they have to go to the back of the bus? You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. This also has taken care of mobility scooters where they are now banned as well. Now, how about this gentleman right here? You know, he spoke about using his mobility scooter. I wonder how this would all fall in now that he's banned from using his devices. I wonder how that would fall in with the American with Disabilities Act. That would be curious. But let's go ahead and read on here a little bit. This emergency ban does not include the use of non-electric bicycles or scooters. This emergency order is an immediate action as we work with our partners on an ordinance that will protect residents and aim to prevent another tragedy. We will continue to engage our residents in this process over the next 60 days. The village manager, Steve Wilson, during this time of mourning and reflection, let's come together as a community to support each other and ensure our collective safety. So they're going to engage and educate all people about this ordinance. Well, the Second Amendment to this particular emergency ordinance states that there's no warnings given. They just stated right out in their meeting, we don't need no warnings. We're going to engage this. The first offense, you get a fine, $250. Second offense, you get a fine of $500. And they were actually quite upset that that was as much as they could do. So I guess that's their way of engaging, comply or else. Now, let's take a look again at this woman that got up and she wanted to speak her mind about this. And so we're going to just watch, not the whole thing, but about 35 seconds right here. This is when she brings up some facts that were going on.
Quiet!
Okay, the fact is that somebody died because they were not wearing a helmet. If we make everybody who drive any type of vehicle, any type of bikes, wearing a helmet, you're interrupting.
Time.
No, they keep interrupting. They keep interrupting.
Okay, now I'm telling you to go outside, please.
But I haven't finished because
It's time for you to go, por favor.
Okay, this is not fair because everybody has talked.
Yeah, as soon as she brought up the fact that this woman died not wearing a helmet, she was booed out. And did you notice they immediately told her, your time is up? And yet she was interrupted the entire time. Now, I don't want to make light of a tragedy that somebody died, but I also don't want to go on a witch hunt when an accident happens. You can take a look at this entire meeting. I am going to put a link in the description to the entire meeting. I sat through the whole thing, and I tell you, I did that several hours ago because I was just too worked up to sit down here and do a video calmly with that. But that link is going to be in the description, and you can certainly go and see that. I'm going to look at a few Florida statutes right now real quick. And the definitions under 316.003 definitions under Florida statutes: an electric bike, a bicycle or tricycle equipped with a fully operable pedals and seat or saddle for the use of the rider, an electric motor of less than 750 watts, which meets the requirements of one of the following three classifications. So they are recognizing, the state of Florida recognizes all three Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 bikes. And a Class 1 bike is a pedal assist up to 20 miles an hour. A Class 2 bike is a pedal assist that also has a throttle, of course, cuts out at 20 miles an hour. A Class 3 bike, arguably anything with a throttle could possibly not fall under a Class 3, because it is a bike that is assisted only when the rider is pedaling, and it goes up to 28 miles per hour. Now, under their statute, and when I first saw this, I thought, now this is great. This is statute 316.20655. Except as otherwise provided in this section, an electric bicycle or an operator of an electric bicycle shall be afforded all the rights and privileges and be subject to all of the duties of a bicycle or the operator of a bicycle, including this statute. An electric bicycle is a vehicle to the same extent as a bicycle. And I thought, well, right there when I saw that, that's the slam dunk that this is 100% unlawful ordinance that they've passed, because they state plainly this has nothing to do with regular bicycles. But there's always a however, because immediately after this part of that statute, it does state, however, this section may not be construed to prevent a local government through the exercise of its power under 316.008 from adopting an ordinance governing the operation of electric bicycles on streets, highways, sidewalks, and sidewalk areas under local government's jurisdiction. So I was actually very, very disappointed to find that part in there as well. So that's where we stand on that. Now, it had mentioned in here they were speaking with Miami-Dade County about increasing the ordinances so that they could take care of this particular highway that was not under their jurisdiction. Well, they are working with a representative, I believe her first name is Vicky, but it's Representative Lopez, on House Bill 597. And I'm going to just give you a summary of House Bill 597. Operation of electric bicycles and motor scooters authorizes violations relating to the operation of certain electric bicycles or motorized scooters to be punishable as provided in local government ordinances. Limits the amount of the fine authorized for such violation. That's part that they're wanting to change. Authorizes local governments to adopt ordinances relating to the operation of certain electric bicycles or motorized scooters in order to protect the public. Requires local governments to provide certain notice of adoption and enforcement of such ordinances. Now, I did call her office, and I will say that an assistant contacted me back. He asked me what my thoughts were on this, and I told him that, you know, there's three classes of bicycles, and these have always traditionally been considered low-speed electric vehicles, and they are not subject to all these different regulations. And what he told me was that the only thing they are doing is setting it to where a local community can set an age limit for electric bikes. Now, I looked at the House bill, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot of legalese. I have not been able to read through it all yet with my legalese glasses on, which means basically, you know, it's about 500 lines or so. But you have to read 3 lines and then you have to go somewhere else to interpret those 3 lines because they refer you to another section. I have not had the time to go through all of that as of yet. But yeah, this is a problem for e-bikers down in South Florida. Matter of fact, I had even considered, I checked it, 798 miles from my home to Main Street on the village of Key Biscayne, because I thought maybe we'll just take a road trip down there and do some e-biking and we'll fight this, but that's pretty far. That's kind of far to go down there, and not sure I want to be doing all that legal fighting. But I think there is some definite room to fight this on. What else has been going on with this? Well, People for Bikes. I spoke about that on the video last week, and I'm going to give just a little bit of an update on People for Bikes. Under their electric bicycles, I'm just going to read a few things here and tell you a little bit about them. I also have a call into them, and I have not heard back from them yet. So I have not been able to find where their budget goes, and that's one of the main things I'm interested in. I've been looking around on their website, and their website is not extremely user-friendly, but I have found some things, and they have every state listed of a summary of the electric bike ordinances. So that's very good. You can hunt that up, and I'll see about giving you, I'll put a link in the description to that page. But I am going to read a little bit here of what they discuss about electric bikes. And People for Bikes work on electric bicycle policy is focused. People for Bikes work on electric bicycle policy is focused on recognition of the 3 classes of low-speed electric bicycle as a type of bicycle. United States laws should permit reasonable access to bicycle infrastructure for the 3 classes of low-speed electric bicycles. Ensure that riders of electric bicycles can enjoy the same duties, protections, and rights as riders of traditional bicycles, and clarify that owners are not subject to vehicular laws that might apply to more powerful devices. So what they're stating there in short is Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 e-bikes are considered low-speed electric vehicles, and they are and should continue to be treated the same as a regular bicycle. Now, it does state further on, we do not support alteration of the 3 classes of low-speed electric bicycles to include other type of devices. We understand that a broad and consistently evolving range of electrically powered vehicles are entering the marketplace and that their use is growing nationwide. However, the 3-class system and its accompanying model legislation was specifically designed to facilitate the regulation of low-speed electric bicycles that closely resembles traditional bicycles in their equipment, handling, characteristics, size, and speed. So what they're stating right there is they are not going out and working on, you know, they're not advocating for the Surons, the Toleras, I think they are, for these bikes that are outside of the Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. They are advocating for Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3, though. And as far as I know, right now, they do have my support. Could more be drawn into that? I believe they could. But are you setting yourself up for a losing battle? Well, that's a very good possibility there as well. You know, I'm not going to go through at this time any of their summaries. I am going to summarize one other state, though, and that's New Hampshire. And I'm just going to give you a quick summary of a House bill, and it's going to be House Bill 1445. It is sponsored by Representative Trotter Belk and YouTuber by the name of Gary's E-Bike Adventures. He covered this as well, and so I would refer you over to him. He is actually in New Hampshire, and so, but I wanted to bring this out as an example of some of the things that are trying to be passed. And we're going to do some more updates on this as well. So this is motor vehicle electric bicycles, RSA 265144 is repealed and reenacted to read as follows. Any class of electric bike capable of a speed of 15 miles or faster with the assistance of electric motor and battery power shall A, not be operated on any sidewalk, bike path, or rail trail. B, be subject to all motor vehicle laws, rules, regulations, and regulations of the roadway while being operated on a public way, which, by the way, is the only place you can operate them except for private land. And C, if required under RSA 261, be registered with the Division of Motor Vehicle. You're basically taking every single e-bike that is out there and turning it into a car. You know, part A of this, not be operated on a sidewalk, I can see. Bike path or rail trail, no. I mean, if they're not going to allow normal bikes on a sidewalk, some towns do that. I could see that. But the bike path and the rail trail, outrageous. Totally outrageous. But, you know, I'm not going to dig real deep into that. That's something that's going to be saved for another video down the road. And, yeah, we are going to bring you more of this. I'm going to be digging deeper with the People for Bikes. I'm going to speak with somebody over there. I'm going to find out if they're worthy to be supported. So far, everything that I am seeing with them states that Michelle and I will be supporting them. And we're going to bring you some updates on the different states of what things are going on. So, yeah, if you want to keep up to date with that, hey, hit the subscribe on that. We really appreciate that. And comment below if you have any questions. I know there was one fella out there, I think his name is Joe, was asking me about New York with the one wheels, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I was not able to get that deep into it by the time I'm filming this, but we're going to try and get you your answer at some point here. And yeah, I think I'm just going to wrap it up on that right there. So till the next one, Internet, this is Southern E-Biking telling you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels rolling. Once again, we're out.